Harris taking on the North Georgia Nighthawks. I want to welcome you up to the broadcast booth. Devin Kupka alongside Brendan Shabath. And Brendan, this is a long-standing rivalry between these two teams. There's a reason why they call it the Battle of Blood Mountain. Both teams separated not even an hour away from each other, and it's going to be an exciting matchup. Young Harris normally dominant in this one, but North Georgia off to a decent start to their season as well.
In every single sport at both of these schools, when that schedule comes out, one of the first names you notice and you look for is that name in purple that says Young Harris. And this is always a big day for both of these teams. It's really awesome when we get the doubleheader between the men's and women's programs here on the soccer side. Women's for North Georgia taking a 7-0 win earlier today. Hopefully the men can repeat the similar fashion.
Yes, North Georgia taking that 7-0 win over Young Harris just a half hour ago. We are underway here in Dahlonega. We start this one over in the midfield. Owen Wallace over there, passing on the far side. That one right on the line.
We get an early look at Max Mitchell, PBC Player of the Week last week.
Yeah, Max Mitchell doing a very good job earning PBC Player of the Week. Scored 2 goals in his first collegiate game. Led the Nighthawks to their very first win of the season against Francis Marion down there in Clayton State University, all part of that classic that they get started to start the year down there.
It's a big win for UNG, too. They hadn't beat Francis Marion since 2021, I believe. Francis Marion was on a 3-game win streak against the Nighthawks. Always want to start the season 1-0. They did that. Mitchell was, as said by Anel Lilich, a difference maker in that game, and he can be and probably will be all season long. Such an impressive striker for the Nighthawks.
So the Nighthawks are in their attacking third, and that one's caught up in the air by the goalkeeper, Ian Aycock. It's back there for the Mountain Lions tonight. Kicked out, back over into the midfield. And they get into contested territory, and this one is going to roll into the back of the net. Young Harris puts their first goal up on the board with 40 at the 2-minute mark. So they're up 1-0 over North Georgia, and that was not a good situation for the Nighthawks there.
Yeah, I think a miscommunication between Owen Wallace and Alexa Lukic, the starting keeper today for the Nighthawks. Wallace had no idea that Lukic was charging to try to stop that ball at the early edges of the box. Wallace thought he was heading it right back to his keeper, who he was expecting to be near the goal line, near the 6-yard box, maybe. And instead, it goes over Lukic, who never had a chance at it, and an early deficit for the Nighthawks.
And North Georgia looking to pick up their second win of the season. They split the first 2 games. They beat Francis Marion last Thursday, and then this past Saturday versus Converse, they fell to them in a 4-1 loss here at home. Harris Osman Basic, the lone goal scorer for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, he scored on a thrilling penalty kick after he made a nice long run into the box and drew the contact and the whistle from the officials. And at the time, Osman Basic's goal tied the match, made it 1-1 early in that first half, but Converse just ended up running away with it. They scored a goal 30 seconds out of the halftime break and scored another just a few minutes later, made it 4-1, and that would end up being the final.
Harris Osman Basic, a player that did not play last season for North Georgia, coming back in the second game and getting his first goal of the season. So contact early here. Miguel Romero got it quickly. Going to get some back in play, and it is. So the ball moving the far side. over to Wallace, and then Adam Laura. Now Nighthawks trying to make a charge into. So it's over now to Jorge Sandoval. Now over back in the Nighthawks, trying to get this one into the box and to the direction of Miguel Romero over there. And quickly contested out of there. Romero over there again. Now back over to midfield. Now Adam Laura. Passed on the far side. Now head towards the right wing.
Here we see the speed from Mitchell. That's that difference-making speed that we talked about. That's a good job by the back line there of Young Harris to cut him off, but that's the difference he can make in a game like this.
Now Young Harris is on the counter offensive. Philip Abda passing it to the left wing. Trying to get that one in, but Georgia stops the attempt there from Sergio Lopart.
That's Lukic in net, as we mentioned, for North Georgia early on. Got the start in the first game of the season for them against Francis Marion. Did not start or play against Converse when the Nighthawks gave up 4 goals. But Lukic, only 2 saves against Francis Marion, but he was really impressive. And Anel Lilich talked about him, said he is a shot stopper. And I think that just is a pretty telling description of somebody, because maybe they're not perfect fundamentally or technically, but Lukic will do anything in his power to stop that ball from getting by him. And there's a lot of value to having a player like that as your keeper.
And as we stated earlier, North Georgia 1-1 on the season so far, and they got a pair of goals. They got a couple of goals in last Thursday's matchup, but only one against Converse on Saturday. One coming from Harris Osman Basic. What do you think the key, Brendan, will be for North Georgia to pull out the victory in this one?
Well, the thing that didn't happen against Converse that Lilich and his staff want to happen is the ball pressure from the Nighthawks. I was lucky enough to be actually a spectator to their practice the day before the Converse match, and what was strongly emphasized was pressuring the ball. And I asked Lilich about it after, and he said, we want to be dogs going after the ball all game and every game, but especially at home. And I asked him why, and he said because this atmosphere is just so different. It's so good. Our players feed off of it so much that they want to use that to their advantage and kind of get in the heads of their opponents, get in their face, make the opponent make a play, and that's what you do when you apply that pressure. The only issue is they didn't do it against Converse. Converse controlled the pace of that match, controlled the style of play. That game really did not have a lot of pressure from UNG, and it's part of the reason Converse had so many opportunities and was able to take that 4-1 win. Looking for them in a rivalry matchup today against a good Young Harris team that UNG has not succeeded against lately. Looking for them to dial up that pressure an extra notch today and see if they can't get a few early opportunities. And they're going to need some already down a goal.
Yeah, now over to Mitchell on the right wing, trying to get this one into the box, and it's going to be another Young Harris takeaway.
It was a very similar attempt from Mitchell to what his first goal of the season was. A lot of contact there, no whistle.
Yeah, and with the star player over there for Young Harris, Leo Lewarn, who won this week the Mountain Lion of the Week award.
Who's the Mountain Lion of the Week sponsor?
I did not see that.
Wonder if they have one. North Georgia obviously has the Chick-fil-A Nighthawk of the Week. That went to Blanca Cruz most recently, the first winner of this year in our first week of athletics competition. Blanca Cruz, a striker for the women's side.
If I maybe had to take a guess for a sponsor, possibly Adidas. You see a lot of that on Young Harris's various graphics, but Young Harris trying to make a charge. This one goes back into right side and the goalkeeper. So we're 10 minutes into this one. Young Harris finding the back of the net first, up 1-0 over North Georgia. North Georgia looking to find their equalizer and not get behind. Saw against Converse last weekend. They were the first team to score. Jackson Keene for them. Now in the middle third, and whistle call and goes against North Georgia.
Yeah, Owen Wallace got away with some contact against Leo Lewarne a couple minutes ago, and the Young Harris faithful, which have surprisingly come out in droves, I guess unsurprisingly with how short of a drive it is here, but the Young Harris faithful certainly let the referee have it after swallowing the whistle a couple minutes ago, and Wallace too destructive there. Not going to get away with that one very often. And there's now a foul on the Mountain Lions, so a free kick for UNG, and this is going to be a big one just inside midfield. They've got some strikers, but they're not going to send everybody up to the box. They just want to hold possession here.
Yeah, and you do see a lot of the Young Harris faithful coming out tonight, and this is the second year Young Harris is not in the PBC, now in Conference Carolinas. And I said it on the broadcast earlier, but props to both coaching squads for both programs, men and women's soccer, from Young Harris and North Georgia, keeping this Battle of Blood Mountain tradition alive. As baseball and softball didn't play each other last season. So now North Georgia trying to get out of Young Harris attacking territory. Now over to the far side. Over to Romero. Now back to Wallace. Mikey Jensen. Miguel Romero has it at midfield.
Nighthawks need someone to step up and kind of control this attack right now. Seems like some of their players kind of deferring to each other, waiting for each other to make a play. This is the moment where you look to lean on your leader and one of your returners in Adam Lada, who's controlled that midfield so many games for the Nighthawks, the PBC Freshman of the Year last year, returning this year, and widely regarded as many as the best player on this Nighthawks roster. Roster just loaded with talent. Really looking for Spider to step up in this game and make a statement about his position on this team and really show out as a leader.
And now ball get near the box for Young Harris, but Owen Wallace able to kick that one out. Young Harris on the attack again. That one broken up there by, and that one's kicked out.
That was a really nice stop by Angel Segreru, who came in to cut off that through ball. That would have certainly led to an opportunity inside the box for Young Harris, and Segreru stuck with it, made sure the ball got away. Not sure if Spider was trying to just clear that ball or get it up for Max Mitchell, who was making a run down the sideline. If it was intended for Mitchell, a bit of a miscommunication.
A lot of this game has been in the middle, third part of the field. Now Young Harris with the takeaway. Now over to the left wing, and Sergio Lopart, and he just missed the goal there. That was a break for North Georgia as Lopart was getting some separation.
Lopart, one of the only scorers so far this season for Young Harris. In their first 2 games, just 3 goals as a team. He's got 1 of them.
Georgia trying to make something happen here. Gets kicked out. And it's these type of games that really, it's like a dam, waiting for the dam to break. Because we saw it earlier in the game beforehand where North Georgia was in charge of possession most of that game in their attacking third. And now a big opportunity here for Jorge Sandoval, and he gets it! North Georgia finds their equalizer. Jorge Sandoval ties this one at 1.
And look at Alexa Lukic coming all the way from his net across midfield to celebrate with Sandoval. An absolutely huge goal for the Nighthawks. Jorge Sandoval is not your typical freshman for this program. A guy who took a gap year, tried to play professionally, dealt with an injury, then had an opportunity to come to North Georgia, play for Anel Lilich, get an education, and play at a very high level of Division II men's soccer. And he's made the most of it so far. Had an assist earlier this season, and the equalizer here early in the first half.
It's always good to see those freshmen step in, and not only just step in, but play good as well. We saw it there from Sandoval right there with that equalizer for North Georgia as we're tied at 1, 15 minutes into the first half. This ball over in the direction of Max Mitchell on the right wing.
Quickly, another opportunity.
Miguel Romero getting that one in. That bounces off the crossbar. North Georgia with another opportunity in that one. Just a little too high. And that, Brendan, that one was really close there.
Yeah, that was Santiago Cano with the first opportunity, and it caromed off the crossbar. Then he went for the bicycle kick when he missed. Rafa Pais had a shot at it and sailed it too far, and Spider arguing with the referee, wanting a whistle. I think they were hoping for a PK when Cano went up for the bicycle. Handled a lot of contact, and there was no whistle awarded. Quickly, another opportunity, and that might be just what you're talking about, Devin. Waiting for the dam to break. The Nighthawks get on the board, and all of a sudden there's confidence and a little bit of swag on this team, and they get another opportunity just a few moments later. And then what a stop right there by Spider in the middle.
Yeah, North Georgia regaining possession here, trying to take their first lead of the game. Remember, North Georgia, when you look at the history between these two teams, North Georgia hasn't picked up a win against Young Harris since November 3rd of 2017, that coming in the Peach Belt Conference semifinal round. In their last regular season, when you have to go back all the way back to 2016. North Georgia looking to erase some bad history here tonight, as it's, in essence, a new game again, tied at 1, 16 minutes into this matchup.
Sandoval, another takeaway.
And this one in the box again, and this one just left of the goal.
And you can see the clear frustrations for the Young Harris back line. Jorge Sandoval, so much speed, physicality, and smarts. He's such a smart player in that front line for UNG that he causes a lot of pressure and clearly causing some frustration for the Mountain Lions early in this one.
Yeah, Sandoval making his name known early in this matchup. This one now back over to Owen Wallace. Now headed back from Young Harris. Mikey Jensen now back to Wallace. And kicked in the air. This one lands out of play. It'll be a throw-in for Young Harris. Now battle at midfield here as North Georgia comes away with the takeaway, and they have a good opportunity here. Miguel Romero and Young Harris now on the counteroffensive. This one getting back there for Young Harris inside the box. Looking to take a lead there, and that one kicked out of play by Philip Abda. And that was a good defense by North Georgia coming in there and disrupting the play.
Yeah, good job by the UNG back line to at least get back and try to make a stop. This does result in a goal kick as well, so they get possession back. Would have been killer there to concede another quick goal after scoring themselves. It's been an issue early on in this season for the Nighthawks.
Jorge Sandoval, now Max Mitchell. They're attacking, North Georgia attacking. Now back over to Miguel Romero, and that one kicked out by Young Harris.
Yeah, just a miscommunication between Romero and Cano where Santi was. Romero probably thought he was a little bit more to that far side, closer to the box. Cano was a little bit deeper. Just going back to the point earlier, Francis Marion, the 2 goals that they scored against UNG in the season opener, one 30 seconds after the Nighthawks scored, the other 2 minutes. So they averaged about 90 seconds in between. Allowing a goal and scoring a goal did the Patriots. And Converse as well, the 1 goal that UNG scored against Converse in their home opener here in Dahlonega, they quickly responded about 2 minutes later. Nice to see them here bear down and stop the ball a little bit after putting up a goal on the board to equalize this game.
Yeah, and it looks like in that game against Converse, it was pretty much once that second half begun, or towards the end of the first half, when the goals were let loose for Converse. So we got Adam Laura on the far side. Ball rolls out of bounds. Throw in for Young Harris. This ball's been in the middle third for a decent amount, past 3 minutes or so. So Young Harris regains control. It's LeRon over there for the Mountain Lions. That one's deflected off of the Nighthawk inside the box. And now kicked away over to midfield. Max Mitchell over there. Now Miguel Romero. Now back over to Wallace. And this one's kicked out. Starting to see Young Harris starting to put more pressure on the Nighthawks here, as
I think Young Harris is realizing the importance of the next goal in this game. We're nearing the 20-minute mark left in the first half. And whoever scores next, I think, is going to be in prime position to head to the locker room with a lead and thus come out of this game with a win. Obviously, there's still so much left to be played in this contest, but the next goal is a real big one.
Yeah, and now we're over to Jorge Sandoval, trying to get that one inside the box for North Georgia. This one kicked away by Young Harris.
Yeah, Sandoval and Spider there, clearly deliberate and where they wanted that ball to go, where they were passing, where they were opening space, and I think almost too deliberate, and didn't take advantage of an opportunity they had. The back line wasn't quite shaped properly. There was some open space for Sandoval there when he had it on his foot, but just wasn't able to jump on that opportunity.
This one lays out of play, and Young Harris back in possession. Tied 1-1, Battle of Blood Mountain. 23 minutes left to go in the first half. So now this one's over midfield.
Good to see Spider there, verbally directing traffic, directing the location of where the ball should be in that midfield. The leader on this team, a captain on this team, And he's starting to act like a little bit here in this first half. Love to see that. He can just absolutely command the entire field with his presence and his ability. And I think early in this season, with so many new faces, 28 new guys on this team, a lot of freshmen, but a lot of transfers as well, almost all of which have some sort of winning pedigree from wherever they came from, a little bit of, I don't want to say ego, but being that guy, being a guy who was on a winning team and part of a winning program. And I think there's just a bit of a feeling out program right now.
And Young Harris getting their second goal of the night. They go up 2-1 over North Georgia. As Alexis Lukic just barely missed that one.
We get a look on the replay here. That's a nice header there by Philip Abda, converting for the Mountain Lions and getting that next big goal like we talked about.
Young Harris goal by number 24, Philip Abda.
Saw earlier North Georgia able to eventually strike back, but as you said just a few minutes ago, the team that gets the second goal is the one that's going to put themselves in prime position.
Yeah, and like we also said, still a lot of time,
of course,
left in this first half. But now you're Young Harris. You control the pressure and you get a takeaway.
A big takeaway from Young Harris.
Great stop by Wallace.
Wallace able to get this one back, but it'll land out of play. Young Harris throw in. What could have been a bad situation there. It's thrown in by the Mountain Lions. Now over in the midfield area. It was a nice sliding kick from Wallace on the far side there. Now back over into towards Young Harris's attacking third.
Like we were talking about before the Mountain Lions goal, there's such a short runway to the season for the soccer programs across the country. Coaches can't really talk to their players over the summer, so they have from when classes resume to start training camp and preseason and then get into the full-fledged practice and full-time season hours, and it's just not a ton of time to get your team ready. And like we said, with a team with so many newcomers, there's going to be a feeling out process, a learning, a development of the chemistry and the culture on this team. And in the early stages, there might be some growing pains with that. And I think that's sort of what we're seeing from the Nighthawks right now. We saw it against Converse, and we've seen it early in this half.
Mitchell nearly almost getting that one in. Just went off the left post right there. Max Mitchell letting his presence known inside the box.
That's what we talked about. Strong, fast, powerful striker who can be a difference maker in this game. And it feels like anytime that ball is in the attacking third for the Nighthawks, if you're Young Harris, you have to know where Max Mitchell, 22 in white, is.
Corner kick in.
Oh.
That one.
I think that was Segrero who got ahead on it. Just a improper angle directed, missing to the right of that goal. Really good opportunity, though. He soared above everybody, but couldn't connect. Nighthawks really struggled in the set-piece game against Converse. They had 10 corner kicks. Converse had 0, and we all know the final score in that one, 4-1. And there's going to be a yellow card here.
Yellow card is over in the direction.
I believe that's on Vukasin Lukovic.
That's the first yellow card issued of the game. So now Young Harris getting to set up his free kick. Someone's going to kick a little high, and it's caught by Alexis Lukic. Is now North Georgia regaining possession here on the far side. Mikey Jensen now over to Rafael Oliveira Pais. Now inside the box, it gets in between the legs of a Mountain Lion. And they're back on the counter offensive. This one nearly lands out of play. And Ron on the attack, but Lukic able to scoop this one up. It could have been a dangerous situation there for Alexis Lukic. And Leo Laron from Young Harris. This one's on the left wing now. Nighthawks trying to get it back to their part of the field. Now battle at midfield. That foul going against Young Harris. North Georgia throw-in. Looks like it's going to be Owen Wallace throwing it in. And immediately kicked away by Mountain Lion. Nighthawks have in store here. Now over to Jorge Sandoval. Now to Mikey Jensen. Nighthawks trying to get this one in the box. Kicked away immediately by Young Harris. Now back to the far side. Approaching the right wing. Del Romero getting that one inside the box, but headed away by Young Harris. So now Pais over there for North Georgia, trying to get that header in. And headed away by Young Harris. Back out to the midfield. So kick deep in by Wallace. Lands out of play. And it's like going to be a corner kick for North Georgia on the near right corner. This one's kicked in and headed out, but back inside the box. That one going to get into the back of the net. North Georgia takes a 2-1 lead. Owen Wallace ties the game up. So North Georgia finds another equalizer, ties this one at 2. Back underway as North Georgia finds another equalizer, tying this one up at 2. So now North Georgia is back in there attacking third.
Now on for Young Harris.
2-2 game. This is shaping up to be a good one here in Dahlonega. And foul called against Young Harris. So Owen Wallace with a goal. Ties the game up at 2. Now free kick for the Nighthawks. Jorge Sandoval, Owen Wallace, 2 goal scorers tonight for the Nighthawks. Okay, this one inside the box, immediately deflected by a mountain lion. That one's caught by Aycock. Just sailed into the box. This one inside the box and caught by Aycock. What would have put North Georgia up for the first time in this one. Aycock making some good plays back there for Young Harris as Aycock kicks this one out towards midfield. North Georgia really offensive lately. That one's played in between. So 2-2 game, 12 minutes left to go in the first half. Jamie Lapsley and Philip Abda, 2 goal scorers for Young Harris. So the Battle of Blood Mountain continues. This is Act 2 of tonight. Contested ball over there on the far side of the field. Now back over to Aram Laura. Now over to Owen Wallace. Wallace the far side. So Georgia pinned back. Now over to Lukic. Lukic back to Wallace. Now trying to get inside the box again for the Nighthawks. This one headed by Wallace. Now Young Harris trying to set up some sort of counter offensive. And out of play, and that's a be against Young Harris, and we've got some subs coming in for both squads. It's now number 2, Quinn Thompson coming on for the Nighthawks, senior defender out of Hull, England, coming onto the pitch for the Nighthawks as Aram Laura steps off the field. And immediately Thompson throws this one in for North Georgia. And Jorge Sandoval's right there for the Nighthawks. And that one was close just over the crossbar here as we reach under 10 minutes to go in this first half. Game tied at 2. 9:40 left. And kicked away. Now over to midfield. And now Young Harris trying to set up some sort of counter-offensive. We really haven't seen that much over the past 10 to 15 minutes. North Georgia charging again. Over to Sandoval.
It's interesting how much confidence and momentum North Georgia gets after getting a goal. They just grow so much when they get on the board.
And this is good to see from as Aycock catches that one, but good to see from this Nighthawk squad able to answer back to the 2 goals Young Harris scored.
This will tell you a lot about your team, how they answer adversity. In adversity, there's none better than the other team scoring on your own turf in a rivalry game. You've got to get your get back when that happens, and they've done that so far. I think Jorge Sandoval has been huge in this game for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, Sandoval scoring the first goal, and then Owen Wallace with the second.
Sandoval's just controlled so much of the middle. There's so much confidence. Everything's so steady when the ball is on his foot. You feel like he's always going to make the right decision and make a play, and there's always an opportunity for something to happen when he's on it. And there's a slide. That's got to be a whistle. That's a free kick for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, and that was Thompson on the far side getting tripped up. Coming in for Adam Laura. So contested at midfield. And now with Young Harris with the takeaway. As they're charging, they're attacking third. Young Harris trying to retake the lead. Now on the left wing, Philip Abda. First goal scorer of the night for the Mountain Lions. Now kicked away.
Trouble spot here, and Osmond Basic just a little too handsy there.
Seven minutes to go in this first half. Young Harris trying to control things here. North Georgia, as you said, Brendan, building all of that momentum within the past 15 minutes. That one headed away from Pais. Now over to midfield. Charge there from Owen Wallace trying to break things up. Does that against Jorge Ortiza.
Looks like a couple subs coming in for both squads. Stefan Shango coming on for the Nighthawks. Really do love to see, as we get a look at Shango here, goal scorer, the game-winning goal scorer against Francis Marion.
Stefan Shango.
Really do like to see Owen Wallace, though, who we just saw a moment ago, redeeming himself for that own goal earlier and putting the Nighthawks on the board, tying this game late in the first half. Now the Nighthawks on a run.
Yeah, and we see Shango immediately making an impact there. Now over to Romero. Young Harris able to take it away there.
That's really good defense by the Mountain Lions. That's a perfect opportunity, and I think Young Harris was actually at a disadvantage there. Nighthawks with a great chance there. They still have an opportunity, though.
Yeah, Sandoval over there inside the box for the Nighthawks.
Just so calm, so poised with that on his foot.
Quinn Thompson laying that one back in, and that one headed out of bounds.
That's the right idea there by Thompson, just not executed properly. Osman Basic with an opportunity with the header. And just couldn't quite turn his body to face the net and put it on frame.
Under 5 to go. Kick towards midfield. As you see, Shungo right there now. Thompson.
Thompson obviously playing against his former team today.
Now to Sandoval and gets that one in! Stefan Shongo comes onto the pitch and immediately gets a goal as North Georgia takes their first lead of the night, 3-2 over Young Harris.
Big time substitution for Anel Lilich with Stefan Shongo, a big time striker coming out, and you can see the excitement on his face and hear it from the crowd. That's a big time goal. Under 5 to play in this first half, and the Nighthawks have taken the lead. Here's a look on the replay there. Perfectly placed on the lower left side of the frame. And Shongo, you can see the reaction. Listen to the crowd, he says. Nighthawks take a goal advantage here in the first half. Fired up is Shongo and his team.
And what's been a theme throughout the day is Nighthawks stepping onto the pitch and immediately making an impact. And we saw that there from Stefan Shongo. This one getting kicked out by Lukic.
Will Bentley just substituted on. Have to give him a special shout out. Was the color commentator of the first soccer game of the season on the women's side, taking on UNC Pembroke. He was with our Robert DiClemente, who you may have heard in the first game today as well with Devin.
That North Georgia women's soccer team getting the 7-0 win over Young Harris. Would like to see North Georgia break a nearly a 7-year winless streak against Young Harris.
Well, we were talking about Quim Thompson, the transfer from Young Harris. He was there for 4 years, went 6-0 against UNG in his career. He did cite some of those days as reason for his transfer, obviously being aware of North Georgia, so familiar with the facilities, a little bit of the team with Coach Lilich. They've got a good guy on that back line, a lot of veteran presence. Bentley, and that's a good referee right there making that call. Good whistle, and the Nighthawks will have a pristine opportunity with under 3 right before we head to the locker rooms. A set piece 20 yards outside the box.
See what North Georgia does here.
It's going to be Pais or Spider, two just pure ball strikers. Looks like it's going to be Pais no matter what, as Spider heads back towards the middle of the field away from the set piece. There's a 2-man wall for the Mountain Lions.
Pais hit that one really high up.
Yeah, I think just booted it a little bit too much.
Just waiting from the kick from Aycock. Contested midfield, and a Young Harris player goes down. Not sure who he made contact with. Number 29, Jorge Atiza.
And it looks like the athletic trainers are going to come out. Can't tell who that is on the ground for the Mountain Lions. Clearly in pain.
It's Jorge Otiza on the ground for Young Harris. He's the senior out of Santiago, Chile. Transferred from Coastal Bend College. He's able to get up on his own feet. And we'll see if there's a sub made or if he stays in the game.
Heading towards the sideline. Looks like he's going to be removed for the time being. He is jogging off under his own power, so certainly glad to see that. And I believe this is going to be a Young Harris set piece. No, it'll be Nighthawk set piece just on their half of midfield.
It's going to be number 23,
Stepping on to
Stanley
young Harris, number 23,
Etienne.
Stanley Etienne.
We reach under 2 minutes left to go in this first half. North Georgia up 3-2 over Young Harris. Now, got Thompson here on the near side, throwing it in. North Georgia trying to up their lead for half. Highly contested ball now over in the direction. It's Young Harris, the counter.
1 minute remaining.
We've seen some contact here in the past 20 seconds between both teams.
Those are big no calls for UNG. Would have a set piece or a penalty kick with under a minute before halftime. Chance to go up 2 goals. Still got an opportunity here.
About 40 seconds left in the first half. What is setting up to be a classic here in Dahlonega. Another edition of the Battle of Blood Mountain.
See if UNG can get one more push here. Right before the break, you see Young Harris applying a little bit of pressure to that back line to try to halt that opportunity. Thompson with a good run forward and too far out of reach for Sandoval to go back the other way, and that might be halftime.
10.
Yeah, throw 9, in for Young Harris.
8, 7.
No rush
6,
for this one.
5.
As
4,
this will
3,
take
2,
us to
1.
halftime here in Dahlonega. It's been a high-scoring affair between both
Your
teams.
halftime
North
score
Georgia
here
up
at the
3-2
UNG soccer field
over
is North
Young
Georgia 3,
Harris, but
Young
it's setting up to be a
Harris
classic
2.
here in the Gold City. We're going to take a quick halftime break, and then Brendan Shabath and I will break down the first half and preview what could happen
Your
in the
attention,
second.
please.
Your
If you
score
have
here in
lost a
Dahlonega.
wallet, it
North
is
Georgia up
in the press
3-2.
box. Again, if you have lost a wallet, it is up in the press box. Thank you.
All right, show me how you did that again. I'm here.
You've got a lot of reasons to be here.
I'm here.
That's why we're here. At Georgia Heart Institute, our breakthroughs in artificial intelligence could accurately model and predict future heart problems decades in advance, so you can make plans today to be just where you're needed tomorrow.
I'm here.
The future of heart care. We're leading Georgia there. Georgia Heart Institute.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
At the heart of America's gold rush stands a beacon of leadership, tradition, and excellence. A university that has always led the way, forging an environment for broad-based academics, world-class athletics, and tomorrow's military leaders. The University of North Georgia. Learning and leadership, passion and preparation, transformation and tradition. We are the University of North Georgia.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Northeast Georgia Health System, the official healthcare partner of UNG Athletics. Bryan Properties, serving all your commercial real estate needs. Dahlonega Resort and Vineyard, escape to the North Georgia mountains for your next weekend getaway. Achasta, golf, community, and tranquility. Coca-Cola, the official sideline provider for North Georgia Athletics.
Halftime here in Dahlonega, North Georgia, up 3-2 over Young Harris. We want to welcome you guys back up to the broadcast booth. Devin Kupka alongside Brendan Shabath, and it's a high-scoring affair between both of these two squads. So Georgia's first goal of the game came from Young Harris. It was Jamie Lapsley. Then just a few minutes later, North Georgia found their equalizer, Jorge Sandoval. And then Philip Abda got the second goal for Young Harris, and it's been North Georgia since then. Owen Wallace tying it up at 2, and then Stefan Shongo putting us in the lead, 3-2 over Young Harris, as North Georgia is looking to end a nearly 7-year winless streak against Young Harris. And I want to bring in my colleague here, Brendan Shabath. Brendan, what was your main takeaway from this first half that has caused North Georgia to go out in front?
Well, it started as poorly as it could. An own goal in the first 2 minutes of the game. Owen Wallace heading the ball over his keeper, Alexa Lukic, and you just think, man, this is how we're going to start this game, especially after the 4-1 loss to Converse, where UNG goes out in the first match of the year and they beat Francis Marion. They don't beat them on the road in a true road game, but they're away from home. It's a neutral site contest. A very good Francis Marion team that's found its way to the NCAA tournament in recent years a couple times. And they take a big win. They score in the final 2 minutes of that game. Huge win. Excitement around this program. Newcomers are guys scoring. Let's go. Everybody's pumped up. You come back home. Everybody's amped. This is a good Converse team. Let's go out and beat them, show you who we are. And all of a sudden, 4-1 just hit in the mouth. And this is the answer game. And you think in the first few minutes they answer with an own goal, and you think, oh, geez, this can't be the way this is going to go. And they've really responded well to that. Owen Wallace specifically got on the score sheet, redeemed himself for his own goal. Jorge Sandoval has been huge on the near sideline for the Nighthawks on that right forward position. Adam Lara, Spider, in the middle has been great. Stefan Shongo, a perfectly timed, beautifully executed substitution from Manel Lilich. He comes in and gets the go-ahead goal for UNG as it stands the winner right now, 3-2. Really impressed with the way they've answered. They answered their own goal, they answered the goal that Young Harris got, and they've even taken a lead going into the break.
Yeah, it seems like Manel Lilich, men's head soccer coach for North Georgia, has really gotten this squad fired up as they've taken a 3-2 lead over Young Harris. Now, you look forward to the second half. North Georgia, momentum can change in a halftime break. Things cool down and all that. But you look towards the second half, what is North Georgia's key to winning the second half of the game? Because if you looked at the last week's game against Converse, that's when things started getting out of hand.
You've got to keep your foot on the gas. They want to be pressured. They want to be ball hawks. They want to especially do it at home. Keep your foot on the gas as soon as this half starts. Get another goal on the board. You go up 2. You've got a chance to get out of this with a win, and like you said, end that losing drought.
Well, we are certainly looking forward to the second half. Indeed, it's shaping up to be a classic, and you guys are having it right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. North Georgia leads it 3-2 over Young Harris. We're back with the second half here on NSN.
At the University of North Georgia, education is more than just a degree. That's why we understand student success is based on 4 interconnected pillars: academic achievement, sense of purpose, well-being, and belonging and engagement. Each pillar reinforces the others, forming the strong foundation that helps UNG students succeed during their time here. Academic achievement is what happens when students work hard and succeed in their studies. At UNG, no matter what degree you're pursuing, you'll receive support throughout your academic journey. We're here to assist with securing internships and study abroad opportunities, as well as other helpful resources like tutoring and advising to improve grades and prepare you for your future career. As a student, you develop a sense of purpose by exploring your unique strengths and personal values. This self-discovery happens when you join clubs, volunteer for community outreach, and participate in leadership activities. When you connect your strengths and values with your academic goals, you'll be able to make meaningful choices about your educational and career pathways. Well-being refers to the overall state of being healthy, happy, and prosperous. It's defined through 8 key dimensions: career, environmental, financial, intellectual, mental, physical, social, and spiritual well-being. When students maintain a healthy level of well-being across these areas, they can better manage stress and anxiety while enhancing their resilience and leadership abilities. Our Live Well UNG initiative promotes healthy behaviors and strategies for achieving overall well-being. We also understand the importance of belonging and engagement in fostering student success. This means feeling supported socially and connected to others on campus. From community building events to cohort programs and clubs, our goal is to make sure every student feels connected, valued, and empowered. At the heart of the University of North Georgia lies a commitment to academic excellence. It's about achieving dreams, finding purpose, enriching your well-being, and forging lifelong connections. Wherever you are in your educational journey, we are here to help you every step of the way.
Hey Nighthawks, I am fired up to welcome you to the new chow. You are not going to believe what we're about to show you. Check this out. Welcome to the new chow where you are going to eat like Nigel. What's going on in chow? First of all, better flow through this place. Remember the traffic jams you used to be in? 2, better healthy eating choices and better opportunities for to get the foods that you want. And then what's really cool, on the far side of chow are new study and collaboration spaces where you'll be able to hang out with your friends, study for tests, work on projects. And in the outer part of that area is a room with a projector system where you can do big group events. This place is off the hook and you are going to enjoy it.
Nighthawk squad on the field getting warmed up for the second half, listening to some Queen here. We Will Rock You.
Devin, I don't know about you, but We Will Rock You has me fired up for this second half. Nighthawks, the way they ended that first half, not what you would have expected the way it started, but man, something about Freddie Mercury just gets the blood pumping, ready for the second half here.
Yeah, and North Georgia looking, as we said it earlier in the broadcast, looking to end a nearly 7-year winless streak against Young Harris. Last one coming back in 2017. As North Georgia's up 3-2 over Young Harris, able to keep themselves in this one and able to answer back to whatever Young Harris has got for them so far this evening. So we got 45 minutes left to play in the second act of the Battle of Blood Mountain tonight.
And it looks like UNG is going to get the ball first. And Anel Lilich has returned to his starters, despite the substitutions, particularly, namely, I should say, Stefan Shango being the difference so far in this game.
Yeah, and he made that immediate impact there, stepping onto the field not even 2 minutes later, scoring that third goal for North Georgia to put him up in the lead 3-2 in this matchup as we flip sides here. is now Young Harris on the counteroffensive. He's Young Harris now battling out here on the near side. Someone getting kicked inside the box, but Alexis Lukic there too with the catch. Now ball placed far side, kicked away by Young Harris. Now trying to make a counter here. Now ball contested here. Midfield now passed back over to Sacha Decorte. A lot of action so far. Ball's been really been contested here in the middle third. And now North Georgia with a big opportunity here. Pais almost there.
Boy, you cannot ask for a better opportunity for Rafa Pais, one of your best strikers, to have a chance uncontested on goal. And that's a great save in net there by Aycock.
Yeah, and imagine if that ball would have hit the back of the net, how much of a game changer that would be, as North Georgia would have held a 2-goal lead.
The roar this crowd would have let out. Oh, boy. Fearful.
Yeah, put North Georgia firmly in control of this matchup.
There's an opportunity here. That's a good ball by Luarn.
Low part over there on the near right side.
Pais, a nice job to just get it out. This is the feeling out portion of the second half adjustments for both teams. And so far, neither really able to get a good opportunity. The Nighthawks with that kind of fluke opportunity as the ball squirted for Pais over there.
Inside the box for Young Harris.
Ooh.
And that one nearly really close there. So that would have been another equalizer for the Mountain Lions, but
big time save from Lukic right there. Corner kick opportunity now.
This corner kick from Young Harris. That's what we're awaiting for. That one sent in and in the back of the net for Young Harris as they score the first goal of the second half. This game is tied up at 3 apiece here in Dahlonega. That goal scored by Bjorn Jonsson. Jonathan.
Here's just a quick look. It's actually the incorrect one. Apologies for that.
So now the game is tied at 3. Lukic kicking that one away and headed back by Young Harris. North Georgia trying to get him out of that side of the field. Young Harris inside the box again. That one kicked away by North Georgia.
Young Harris goal by number 3.
That one landing out of play, but throw in. North Georgia moving very quickly here. Now over to Santiago. And trip up there.
So here we get another look at the goal. And it's just a well-placed corner. They get ahead on it with Bjorn Jonasson. And Young Harris winning the battle of adjustments out of the locker room on the board first.
That was Ivar, not Aga, that was tripped up there for Young Harris. North Georgia trying to make something here. This one kicked inside the box. And a sliding collision made. And a yellow card.
I think that's to both. That's both to Rafa Pais and Ian Aycock.
Yellow card issued to the goalkeeper. So we're waiting for the refs to resume play. Win the pick out of Aycock.
I was saying, I don't think we got the signal for play. We were waiting on the whistle, and there it is.
Now Young Harris trying to set up an attack, and there's a good opportunity here for Lopart. Lopart trying to get that one in, and a great block by Alexa Lukic.
What an absolute save. We talked about Lukic being a shot stopper, and that's the definition of it right there. Whatever you can. He was misguided, leaning to his left. Ball comes back across his right. He jumps up and makes a beautiful stop to keep this game level.
Corner kick for Young Harris. This one getting way outside the box, and now having a back pedal here. This one getting just past.
Yeah, and the whole back line for UNG signaling for offsides, and they do get that call. It's the correct call as well. Not Aga, just way too far.
Yeah, went just right by Segreiro. This game's tied at 3. Now, these two teams in the past, they have tied before, and in fact, it came about 3 years ago in a very notable matchup between both of these teams. So we're trying to get that one inside the box. It goes against that back fence. And that notable matchup coming on Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. UNG tying it here in Dahlonega against Young Harris 2-2. Young Harris going out up top first in the 13th minute. Federico Gutierrez, and then Adam Kirkwood in the 50th minute. North Georgia trying to make a charge here. And Young Harris with the takeaway. Whistle's called.
And a set piece now.
See what North Georgia does with this. But in that game, back in 2021, Donovan Odier getting the goal, and then Owen Osiedu in the 68th minute to tie things up. It's back 3 years ago.
It's going to be Romero or Sandoval, two really good strikers with a chance here to untie this game. They've got 6 in the box. Lukovic, the 7th, just outside.
Sailed into the box and gets kicked out, but Nighthawks trying to regain possession. They do. Laura's nickname, Spider, you hear. And
I mean, that's just a beautiful play right there, the way he battles with the defender to earn the corner kick at the last moment and gives UNG another set piece opportunity. This will be their 3rd corner of the game, 2 for Young Harris, and they go quickly.
It's North Georgia's best look at the goal that they've had all half.
And they're going to get another. Yeah, other than Pais's This little run down here. Ball dominant possession for UNG.
Went into the box, but headed away by Mount Lions.
And both of those set pieces just a little too low. The one from outside the box on the far side and the corner from Romero just a little too low in curl lane to really find anybody to have a chance to get a footer ahead and put it on goal. And Romero with what looked like to be a good tackle in the midfield, but he gets called for it.
Things starting to get a little chippy.
It's a rivalry game. Better be.
It is. You probably still ask soccer players now, despite Young Harris not being in the Peach Belt, this is the game they look most forward to.
Boy, great stop there by Owen Wallace. Quinn Thompson makes a gamble, comes forward to try to head that ball to clear, and it gets behind him, and Young Harris has a numbers advantage going into the attacking third, and Wallace just stops that cross right in its tracks for a throw-in. Still not out of the woods yet, but that's a big stop there by the freshman out of Habersham.
Someone headed into the box, kicked away by North Georgia.
Still dangerous.
One kicked out of play a little high. Could have been close, though. As we reach 10 minutes into the second half. Now this one over into the direction of Max Mitchell. Now Young Harris trying to make something happen and deflects off the foot of Segrero. It'll be a Young Harris throw-in. Throw it inside the box, headed out. One kicked far outside. That one kicked back in, headed away by North Georgia.
It's a great clear off the head of Owen Wallace, and now the Nighthawks the other way.
Counter offensive here by North Georgia. Gonna get broken up by Young Harris.
Just too strong of a touch by Kano there.
Now Young Harris on the charge.
Nighthawks wanted an offsides. The entire bench up in arms about it.
And that one nearly almost goes in for Young Harris. That one just bounced off the post. Very, very close for the Nighthawks there. What could have made it a 5-3 game, or excuse me, a 4-3 game. Young Harris taking their first lead since earlier in the first half. So North Georgia throwing this one. The direction towards Max Mitchell. Now back over to Lukic. Georgia, second half has kind of started with Young Harris mostly in control of this one.
Yeah, other than the back-to-back set pieces for a couple minutes down here, ball has not been in the Nighthawks attacking third at all. And again, there, Kano and Romero, despite being two returners, just not on the same page with their shape.
Young Harris trying to set something up here. On the near right side of the field. And one kicked out of play. I believe that was Quinn Thompson over there. Now thrown back in. Max Mitchell over there. Now back over to the midfield, where it lands out of play. Subs coming in for both Young Harris and North Georgia. Looks like Pais is going to go off the field, and it's going to be replaced by Mikey Jensen. So Jensen got a lot of playing time in the first half.
North Georgia, number 12, Mikey Jensen.
Max Mitchell does here. Max with that nice footwork. Gets intercepted by Young Harris. There's a sliding kick by Wallace. Now ball being contested on the far side. Young Harris trying to maintain their firm possession so far this half. And now Spider trying to make something happen. Now over to the left wing. So we're going to get kicked into the box and ultimately caught by Aycock. So the North Georgia's trying to do is kind of regain that momentum they had at the second half. Or the beginning or the end of the first half, excuse me. We're 16 minutes into the second half, 29 minutes left to go.
Now the physicality turning up a little bit. You see on that challenge there.
And that was Nighthawk goes down right there.
There's Owen Wallace, who I think got clipped on his way up for that header. He appears fine, but just got upended as he went up. And that garners the whistle.
Now, Max Mitchell over here for North Georgia, trying to take this one back. Now off the foot of Sandoval. So North Georgia does here.
This game feels like whoever scores last is going to be the winner, and the way it's gone so far, we are in for a few more balls to find the back of the net.
That one headed inside the box.
What a great ball from Spider.
Yeah, and a great opportunity there for it looked like it was Wallace that was inside the box there that headed it.
Owen Wallace, one of the taller players on the team for UNG, 6'2" as a freshman, but he's kind of that long, wiry kind of 6'2" and big frame at least. And they certainly, that's a great observation, Devin. They love to use him in the box on set pieces. Use his height, use his athleticism. A quick player, has some strength as well. And that's how he got a goal earlier in this one.
North Georgia looking to find their first goal of the second half, and that could have been a dangerous opportunity there as Lukic kicks that one away. It's going to be one-on-one with the Mountain Lion right there. And young Harris player goes flying in the air.
I don't think it's a foul. I think that's a good no call, but just so much contact. A little awkward to not hear a whistle on something like that.
Now, ball being contested at midfield. North Georgia on the counter. And Laura getting tripped up. No call. Young Harris now making a counter of their own. Trying to get that one in, but it was deflected by Nighthawk.
Good job by Segrero to get it up and find Perez.
There's 25 minutes left in this matchup. Throw in for the Nighthawks.
Segrero to throw it in. Nighthawks wanted to whistle. Paris is just going to keep it himself. And there you see Shango back in the game. Immediately he's got it on his foot with an opportunity now.
Shango's pass intercepted there, tended towards Perez.
Tough call, but probably a proper one. Shango from behind, clipping the back of the leg there to make that tackle.
Now, Georgia looking to regain momentum. This ball looks like Philip Abda, and a red card has been issued.
That's Lukovic, a big-time defender for them. Not the player you want.
And that's huge as North Georgia will now be down a player on the pitch.
Not the guy you want to get sent off. A critical piece to that back line. And at a critical juncture of this second half, about midway through, 24-17 on that clock. And Young Harris with a set piece and a man advantage.
Red card issued at number 6.
This is trouble for the Nighthawks.
See what the Mountain Lions do here, but as you said, it's a big deal that now that a red card has been out. Nighthawks looking to regain momentum, now down a player on the field. See how the Nighthawks will have to adjust. It's going to be tough.
Young Harris sending all but 2 up in for this free kick.
One landed in the box, but headed out by looked like a Nighthawk player.
And some subs are going to come in. You got over hurdle 1, and that's avoiding that set piece. That's big to just get out of there without even a corner. Now UNG can possess it, but expect Young Harris. They're really going to turn up the pressure here now with the man advantage.
Yep, so it's 11 on 10 now. Here in Dahlonega, North Georgia,
number 3, Brian
down a man
Benoit.
On the field in a half where Brendan they need to get momentum back, and now it's that much tougher.
And you can kind of feel that momentum having been zapped from that play and that call. Now they've got to find a way, as you mentioned, Devin. Snatch it back from the jaws of the Mountain Lions.
So Young Harris, 23 minutes left to go in this one. North Georgia looking to snap 7-year winless streak against Young Harris. As now there's a charge here to the Nighthawk attacking third. Now over to Perez.
Young Harris controls possession after that, but the way Shango stopped on a dime, so impressive there.
You see Benoit out on the field for North Georgia.
Shango and Sandoval can be a dangerous 1-2 punch if they get on the same page, I should say. Just haven't quite combined to be dangerous yet in this second half.
Young Harris really fully in control. Despite the game being tied at 3, it's kind of what it's been feeling like for about 15 minutes here in Dahlonega. So Young Harris up a man over the Nighthawks. Now, ball being contested on the right wing. That one deflected off the foot of a Nighthawk. And some subs are waiting to come onto the field. Lukic probably going to kick this one deep, try to get this for the Nighthawks to set up a at least give an attack downfield. And Lukic does just that. This one headed over to Lukic.
Nearing that 15-minute mark, a milestone in this second half. The clock will stop for, as it stands currently, all substitutions. Under 15 minutes under the new rule by the NCAA.
And there was some contact there. It looked like with Quinn Thompson on the far side. It was no call, or well, there was a call, excuse me, against Young Harris. Whistle's been called on the field. Looks like ref is pointing towards the mountain line bench. Now Brian Benoit. Now back to Benoit. Now back to Lukic. Lukic kicks this one deep over to midfield, where Shango was there. But North Georgia just not able, once it gets past that middle third of the field, Young Harris is right there.
They just have not had any pressure on the back line either. You can see Shango back at midfield. All the center backs for Young Harris just go back and forth, trying to shape their offense and find a crease. Sandoval has been had a much smaller role in this second half, and Nighthawks can't believe the call there. Spider upset with it as he's whistled for the foul.
There's some action down there on the right wing. 18:50 left in this one. Is that the ref has in his hand? Is that a potential? Never mind.
I don't think it's a card.
It looked like he had something in his hand, but nothing came to of it. Lukic kicks this one out from their own end. Shango was right there. And Young Harris on the counter attack. Now Young Harris trying to make something happen here. Put themselves in the lead. That one tested inside the box. North Georgia able to take it away. Spider trying to break this into their attacking third. And that one is out of play.
You can hear the crowd cheering Spider on. Feels like he might have an opportunity for a big moment as that clock keeps dwindling.
This might be North Georgia's best opportunity they've had in a good minute. And immediately it's headed away by Benoit. Now in the feet, Sojero.
It's just a possession that's just wasted for the Nighthawks. They give that ball up too easily. They have to be stronger, more assertive when on the ball, especially bordering on that attacking third. This is a tie game. as we wind down.
And you can kind of feel it, too, as well. It
feels like exhaustion.
Exactly.
Maybe that's too much on the spectrum of fatigue, but fatigue is actually probably the better word for it. Just a little tired as this game has gone on, not quite having the energy to keep up that same level of pressure and intensity.
Remember, North Georgia, they put some of their backups in towards the end of the first half, and then right at the beginning of the second half, the starters were right back in.
But we've seen people like Shango was one of those backups that came in at the end of the second half and scored, and he was quickly in at the start of this second half and has remained in. Trouble spot here.
Headed inside the box.
Yeah, Lukic has just got to go grab that ball, as he does there. Nice job. Lukic, the Truett McConnell transfer for UNG, a sophomore this year.
We're nearly reaching the 15-minute mark here. Tie game here in Dahlonega. Set up for a classic matchup between these two storied programs.
Tell you what, if this game ends in a tie, that'll just be absolutely criminal. Neither team, as it stands, currently deserves to lose, obviously. But boy, it would really not be fun to go this whole time and not have a winner.
My first taste of the Battle of Blood Mountain was a doubleheader night with women and men's soccer. And the men's soccer game that night did end in a tie 2-2. We did cover it earlier in the broadcast.
And
it's going to be stoppage of time.
Not sure if there's going to be a card on Shango here. There is.
Philip Abda. It's the mountain line down on the pitch. But he gets back up on his own feet.
Looks like he's going to remain in the game as well. Couple of yellow cards today for referee to sort out.
Will be the third yellow card issued to North Georgia tonight. Only one for Young Harris.
A lot of fouls. Combined 23 between these two teams. Not to mention the red card to Vukashin Lukovic for the Nighthawks. Still playing a man down.
So there to Benoit. Young Harris retaking that possession. Whistle called. We got some subs waiting to go in. North Georgia looking to put 2 in, and Young Harris 1.
And this is what we see UNG doing now as we move to the later stages of the second half. These set pieces in their own end are being taken by Lukic to put as many players forward and apply as much pressure with the attack on the Young Harris back line. This will be our first sub as well on the next throw-in. First subs where the clock will stop under 15 minutes now. So the game going to get a little bit longer here as we move forward. Both coaches playing that game of chess, putting the right players in the right places to end this game.
So reach under 14 minutes to go. If you're just joining us, tie game here in Dahlonega. North Georgia 3, Young Harris 3. Devin Kupka, Brendan Shabath here on the call of this game, and it's been a back and forth game pretty much the whole way through. Young Harris scored first, then Jonathan, and then Jorge Sandoval.
Stepping on for North Georgia, number 7, Harris Osmond.
Jamie
Gleason.
Lapsley, then
Number
Owen Wallace
9,
for North
Santiago
Georgia.
Cano. And number 22,
Stefan
Matt
Shango
Mitchell.
getting that goal to put North Georgia up 3-2. And that led us into halftime. And then Philip Abda tying this one here in Dahlonega for Young Harris. Young Harris able to take that one away in the box. That's where North Georgia's really struggled this half, is it's in their attacking third. There has been a red card issued in the game. So North Georgia down a man, 10-11. Looks like maybe potential offsides against Young Harris. Clock ticks under 13. See what North Georgia has in store these last 13 minutes. North Georgia's last win against Young Harris, if you're just joining us, came in November of 2017 in a Peach Belt Tournament semifinal match. North Georgia won that one at 3-0 over Young Harris. Young Harris resets here. And North Georgia looking to get a takeaway here, a much needed one in their third of the field. It's Young Harris trying to put themselves out in the lead for the first time since the middle of the first half. That one looked like it was off the shoe of Benoit. Pushing Young Harris back. That one landing right in the hands of Lukic. Kicked over into midfield. And that was Max Mitchell taking the hit there. No call. There's now a ball contested in the box. And a penalty foul against the Nighthawks. The yellow card issued. Excuse me, it was against Young Harris. See on your screen there, 11-10 advantage for Young Harris.
Yellow card issued to number 29, Jorge Otiza.
Jorge Otiza, yellow card. Mountain Lions, some substitutions going on. Jamie Lapsley coming back onto the pitch for the Mountain Lions as Lukic kicks this one away.
Stepping on for Young Harris, number 14, Jamie Lapsley.
Georgia trying to, this one's over to Max Mitchell, and there was Aga right there to intercept him. Now Young Harris, when being blocked off of the body of a Nighthawk defender.
There's Segrero, and a great stop because Young Harris has the advantage already, 11v10, but had the advantage on that break as well. And Segrero got his body in front and was able to avoid a corner kick as well, only a throw-in.
The majority of the past 25 minutes or so have been in the attacking third of Young Harris. But in that 25 minutes, only one goal to show for it. So it's a tie game, 9.5 minutes left here in Dahlonega. Being contested there. Max Mitchell trying to regain there. Holds the jersey of Aga. And a stoppage of time.
Surprised no yellow for Mitchell there. A deliberate tug of the jersey to force the set piece as he gets back into play.
This is going to be interesting to see what the Mountain Lions do with the set piece.
I think they may have, it's hard to see as that they get down into the corner there. They may have just given Mitchell a yellow after the discussion between the referee and the line judge.
There's a trainer coming out onto the field.
There's a Young Harris player cramping up in the corner, it appears.
And a Nighthawk helping him out. Not sure what Nighthawk that is helping. Hard to see from our vantage point.
Probably Segrero, given the right back corner positioning of the injury.
You know how much of this is a rivalry game, too. You love to see that sportsmanship between two teams that are in the, to put it this way, in a feud with each other. So it's always good to see that. As play resumes here, Young Harris setting this one in the box, and Lukic catches that one.
Lukic an extra beat. Down on the ground. Taking his time. There's a little time left in this one.
You know, North Georgia kind of has that bend don't break defense right now, in a disadvantage, being down a man, not allowing a goal. But North Georgia trying to retake the lead.
It's going to be really tough for them to find a way to get the necessary pressure up front to put a goal on the board, down a man in this spot. Like you said, Devin, bend don't break. Has to be the mentality right here. The focus is stopping Young Harris. And then if you get a counter opportunity, you've got to take it.
And Lukic right there just standing up like a statue in the box there.
Very risky play there.
But able to catch that one. That's some good foresight there. Headed by Osman Basic on the far side, kicked away by Mitchell. Now over in the direction of Adam Laura. And Aycock there to pick things up. So under 7 minutes left to go. The contest between Young Harris and North Georgia. No one headed there on the right wing. And now Osman Basic on the far side with the counter attack. Osman Basic getting tripped up. No call. Now Max Mitchell back over to Spider. And now foul called against Young Harris.
Interesting whistles there. Feels like there was less contact on the one that he did call rather than the one on Osman Basic in attacking territory.
Young Harris not able to. Last goal that was scored was within 15 minutes of this half. Time's going to stop. This looks like there's subs coming in for both teams.
Stepping on for Young Harris, number 11, Sergio Yopar.
Jorge Sandoval back into the game. Stefan Shango as well. You've got Max Mitchell on the field. Spider. Some of your best strikers, your best ball handlers.
Stefan Shango.
With less than 6 minutes left, that's key.
That one landing out of bounds.
Also
5.5 minutes left in this contest.
Jorge Sandoval.
Battle of Blood Mountain, North Georgia winning it The women's soccer team winning at 7-0 over Young Harris women's soccer team. It's been a high-scoring affair all day.
Mm-hmm.
Got 13 goals scored between both of these games.
Ooh, Mitchell had a chance to make a touch to the center there, and they would have had 3-on-2 with Shango, Sandoval, and Mitchell.
It's Thompson on the far right side. It's now Sandoval.
A goal kick for UNG.
When you look at North Georgia's schedule here, as we reach under 5 minutes left to go, we'll face off against Lincoln Memorial this Saturday back here in Dahlonega.
Feels like with the big boot that Lukic has on some of these goal kicks, feels like some of the best opportunities North Georgia has to turn and burn. Get that ball, turn off a defender, and burn into the attacking third into the box for an opportunity. There's only so many chances left for those in this game, though.
And a foul called against North Georgia.
Looks like maybe some warnings issued.
Young Harris will be going on the road this Saturday, taking on King University up in Bristol, Tennessee. Things contested inside the box, and a great block by Alexa Lukic to keep this one tied at 3.
Here's a look at it on the replay.
Again, header, North Georgia trying to get this one away from inside the box. Under 3 minutes left to go. Game tied at 3. Last time these two tied came back in 2021.
See, there's another chance. Turn and burn. Mitchell had the opportunity.
Now over to Shango. And Young Harris on the counter again. North Georgia kicks that one out of play. Now you can kind of start feeling the intensity has really picked up here in the last minute or so.
Every pass just feels so crucial at this moment. Especially with the man advantage for Young Harris. Nighthawks really have to be sure to stay back. Only wait for the right opportunity to press forward. It's going to be so tempting to press forward and try to get that goal, but you're in such a vulnerable spot to give up what could be the winner.
That one going out of play. Game tied at 3 apiece. Haven't had a goal scored in over 30 minutes. 1:45 left to go. North Georgia looking to break a nearly 7-year winless streak against Young Harris. Currently, North Georgia down a man on the pitch. So now gets kicked out of play. That was Thompson on defense there for Nighthawks.
Young Harris obviously going quickly on these corners, under 2 to play.
Corner, and that one's sailing out of the box. Got 2 Nighthawks on
Chance
there,
here.
and it's a good opportunity here for North Georgia. Under a minute to play. Now over to Brian Benoit.
Oh, Benoit pulled a hamstring. He made a great run to a perfect opportunity, and just too ahead of himself. He's cramping up now, it looks like.
And now on the counter is Young Harris. Under a minute left to play. Tied at 3 here in Dahlonega.
Got to get back here. Sandoval coming into the play.
Crowd getting into it, and a great catch by Alexa Lukic they keep this game tied with 30 seconds left.
For UNG, the advantage there is this press forward, and that's a mistake by Lukic there to let that go out of bounds. That could have been the last one of the game. Young Harris now with the final opportunity, it looks like.
15 seconds left. This one being contested on the near right side of the field, and Lukic with the catch, and that one looks like it will seal the deal for the tie tonight. The first one since 2021 as North Georgia and Young Harris tie 3-3 in the third game of their seasons. And kind of was, Brendan, it was a tale of two halves here. A lot of high energy in that first half. North Georgia up 3-2 at half, and then only one goal scored in that whole second half.
Yeah, it was really an unexpected second half based on what we had in the first 45. These two teams back and forth, a lot of offensive opportunities. Obviously, that's going to go away when Vukašin Lukovic gets the red card and the Nighthawks go down a man. But still, Young Harris just didn't have the same fire, the same moxie that they did in the first half, especially on the attacking side of the ball, and it results in a draw. And they had the opportunities, they had the possession, and they just didn't make the most of them. So credit to UNG for battling through the disadvantage, finding a way to survive and come out of here without a loss. Obviously, it's not the result you wanted, but that's a Young Harris team that you haven't beaten 7 years, and you didn't beat them tonight, but you didn't lose either, and that's a step in the right direction, especially given the circumstances of the way that game ended.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to North Georgia. They fought their way through that one. Although it might have ended in a draw, in the end it kind of did feel like a win there because you were at that disadvantage, and Young Harris unable to capitalize on that, on North Georgia being a man down. But,
yeah.
So this one ends in a tie tonight. The Battle of Blood Mountain, North Georgia tying it with Young Harris 3-3. North Georgia will stay home this weekend. They'll be taking on Florida Tech this Saturday. And Young Harris going on the road to King University up in Bristol, Tennessee. So tie game here, Battle of Blood Mountain, North Georgia. Women's soccer winning 7-0 over Young Harris. This one ending in a tie for the men's soccer game. And that'll wrap things up here in Dahlonega. For Devin Kupka and Brendan Shabat, have a great night, everybody.